how you can get 12 to 15 months of rent and utility assistance completely free. So let's dive into this. Rent assistance has been updated. It got passed through the last stimulus bill in December to the tune of about $25 billion. And then in the latest stimulus bill, there was another $20+ billion added to the rent assistance fund. Now, this program has been extremely frustrating to this point. It's the hardest to apply for program in all of the stimulus bill, but it might be the most or one of the most beneficial dollar amount wise stimulus programs in the entire bill. So it's important to know how this works because this could be much larger than a regular old stimulus check. So let's cover what we already know about this bill, what has been added, how you qualify, what you need to qualify, and then how you apply for this darn thing. That's the part that everyone wants to know. So let's just go ahead and jump right in and go down to the computer here. So first we're looking at the stimulus bill that was just passed. This is the housing assistance section of the bill. We can see an additional $21.55 billion was added to this fund, and this will remain available through September 30th, 2027. And this is on top of the $25 billion that has already been approved, and almost none of that has actually been spent. These are massive numbers here for the rent forgiveness program. Now let's talk about who's eligible for this program. This is straight from the U.S. Department of Treasury Emergency Rental Assistance Frequently Asked Question. It was just revised. So the first question, who is eligible to receive assistance under the Act, and how should a grantee document the eligibility of a household? So these are the main criteria. To be eligible, a household must be obligated to pay rent on a residential dwelling, and the grantee must determine that one or more individuals within the household has qualified for unemployment benefits or experience a reduction in household income, incurred significant costs, or experienced any other kind of financial hardship due to COVID-19. Number two, one or more individuals within the household has to demonstrate a risk of experiencing homelessness or housing instability if it weren't for rent assistance. And number three, the household has a household income at or below 80% of the area median income. To figure out your area median income, if you're not sure if you're within that criteria, you can go to censusreporter.org and type in your area, and you'll be able to compare your income to the gross area income. Now, there's a couple other questions I highlighted here that I think were worth going over. How should applicants document that a member from the household has qualified for unemployment benefits, experience any kind of financial hardship due to COVID-19? And it says straight in here, all you need to do is attest in writing that one or more individuals within the household hit that criteria. So it's just going to be a document that you sign to attest that, yes, this is the case. Also, here's another question. How should a grantee determine that an individual within a household is at risk of experiencing homelessness or housing instability? And in order to prove that, all you need is a past due utility or rent notice or eviction notice, or you need to certify that you're living in unsafe or unhealthy living conditions, or any other evidence of risk as determined by you, the grantee. Now, there's just a few other things I wanted to cover on the Treasury website, and then we'll go into how exactly you can apply for your specific area. So this is the available assistance. Eligible households may receive up to 12 months of assistance, plus an additional 3 months if the grantee determines the extra months are needed to ensure housing stability and grantee funds are available. So if funding is available, this program may extend to 15 months of rent and utility payments. I mean, that is massive. I mean, that could easily be $30,000. Application process, this is where it gets a little bit tricky. I wish there was one unified system, but there's not. An application for rental assistance may be submitted by either an eligible household or by a landlord on behalf of the eligible household. So if you're a landlord not receiving rent, you can submit this documentation in order to start receiving rent from this program as well. So this is also very good for landlords, especially smaller landlords. Households and landlords must apply through programs established by grantees. In general, funds will be paid directly to landlords and utility service providers. So it won't be exactly like a stimulus payment that goes into your bank and then you can spend it on whatever you want. In most cases, it will just go to the landlord directly, to the utility companies directly. Now, if a landlord does not wish to participate, funds may be directly paid to the eligible household though. But most landlords will want to participate in this, especially if they're not receiving rent right now. Now, how do we apply for this darn thing? Hopefully this is the last time I have to tackle this because we have a much better answer than we've had in the past. It's not perfect, but it's better. So now there's a map. I'll have everything you need linked below. On this map, it shows all the different assistance programs just based on the map. You know, you just click the one that's closest to you. This will cover millions of people. There's still certain areas that aren't on here, but we're going to go into depth a little bit more if your area is not on here. If your area is on here, you're in luck. All you have to do is click one of these and then you follow the steps. Now the steps are a little bit different for each area because each area does their own program and might have their own qualifying criteria. So I clicked a few of these just so we can see some examples. This is Tucson, Arizona, Emergency Rental Assistance Program. For this one, all you have to do is click Apply for Rental Assistance. It brings you into their portal and you can start applying. This is a great system. This is one of the better ones. Now if we move on to Aurora, Colorado, theirs also isn't too bad. We can see, how do I apply? Gather the following documents to upload with your application: a current lease or rental agreement, identification of all household members, proof of Aurora residence. You can expect this, that you're living in the area in which you are applying for grant assistance. Household income. This one, you need to certify many things. It'll be slightly different depending on the area, but you know, if you're in that area, you're going to have to follow that process. And we can see it's a nice and easy click here to apply. Another city that I pulled up was Beverly Hills. This one is rent stabilization. Now in this one, it's requiring landlords to apply for the sake of renters. It says on January 19th, 2021, the city will mail a notice to housing providers notifying them the requirement to register. Housing providers must register within 35 days of this mail date. Failure to register results in $500 per unit penalties. So if you're in this area, your landlord is going to have to start. You can also follow the steps here to register. So this is the easiest way. If your area is on this map, you just click one of these dots, you follow the steps from there. As long as you hit that criteria, you'll be able to get that 12 to 15 months of funding. Now, if you're not on this map, if your area is not on this map, I'll also have linked below this spreadsheet. This spreadsheet goes much more in depth on various areas. It's not quite as user-friendly as a map, but if we can scroll, we scroll here, we can see it covers tons and tons of areas. Now, if this doesn't work, there's another option because I'm trying to give every single option possible here. All you have to do is go on your phone and you can either dial 211 or 311. So I'm going to dial 211 and do a little example here.
Thank you for calling 211 Arizona. For English, press 1. Gracias por llamar a 211 Ari. You have reached 211 Arizona. For assistance with housing, including emergency shelter and rental assistance, press 1. For assistance...
So many areas, you're just going to call either 211, 311, and there'll be some kind of directory for housing assistance. It's that easy. You'll be able to talk to a live person and say, hey, what are the programs available in my area? Where do I need to go? If you can't find it on that map, you can't find it on the spreadsheet. Now, if that doesn't work, I have another option because I'm trying to cover absolutely everyone. If you appreciate this, by the way, make sure you like and subscribe. Oh, and also if you want to get a little stimulus on top of this, you can use the link in the description to get 2 free stocks with Webull. All you have to do is deposit $100 into your account. You'll get 2 free stocks, and I'll actually get a free stock if you use my link, so thank you for that. And you don't even have to spend the $100. You can get up to $1,850. So there's another little stimulus. But if calling 211, 311 doesn't work, then you can move on to the next step. And this is how the program works. I've really dug into the nitty-gritty here. Basically, each unit of government with a population of at least 200,000 can have their own rental assistance program. Now, it might be much larger than that, like you might be in a county, but your state has a statewide program. But I'll have this document link below that shows each eligible area with at least a population of 200,000. This way, you'll be able to find your area. Let's say Solano County, California, and then you can Google Solano County, California rent assistance, and you should be able to be directed somewhere. Now, if that doesn't work, the last thing you can try is going to HUD.gov and search your state. If you just Google HUD.gov rent assistance followed by your state, you should be directed to some programs there. And if you follow all these steps, you will be able to find a solution to this program, and you will be able to get that 12 to 15 months of rent assistance as long as you hit the other criteria. Now, we should say this program is not completely open in every area yet. You'll see on this map, some of them you click on, it says you can apply to be notified. They're just not all completely open. That's why a lot of the funding from December still hasn't been spent yet. But this is the kind of thing where if you really want this assistance, you have to check back regularly, and you might get $30,000, $40,000 in free rent and utility assistance. So I hope that this was helpful, because I spent a lot of time digging through this and finding the best practices. Again, subscribe if you enjoy this, like this, share this to others who might find this valuable, and I'd like to thank you for watching, and I hope you have a profitable day.